From the time we can walk, we are handed a very specific script for success. Sit still, get good grades, and eventually land a safe, secure job with excellent benefits. Yet, if you look closely at the modern economy, you'll notice a glaring contradiction. The world is full of brilliant doctors, meticulous accountants, and sharp executives who pull in massive salaries but still find themselves quietly drowning in debt. The root of this problem starts right here, at the front of the room. Our educational system is highly optimized to teach scholastic and professional skills, but it teaches absolutely nothing about money. We spend decades mastering how to work for a paycheck, but we never learn how those dollars actually function. That blind spot is exactly what traps even the brightest A students in a lifelong financial struggle. To understand how this trap works, consider the story of a young boy raised by two very different fathers. One dad was highly educated, holding a PhD and a well-paying government job. The other father never finished the 8th grade. By the end of their lives, their outcomes couldn't have been more different. The highly educated father passed away, leaving behind a stack of unpaid bills. The dropout, meanwhile, grew his assets to become one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. Their final net worth wasn't determined by their starting income or how many hours they clocked. It came down to two entirely different, invisible psychological operating systems. This split between the rich and the poor doesn't start in a bank account. It starts in the vocabulary they use when faced with a financial hurdle. When the educated, struggling father saw something he wanted but didn't have the cash for, his default reaction was a definitive statement: "I can't afford it." Those 4 words act as a mental kill switch. The brain requires no further thought, breeding financial laziness. The wealthy father took a different approach. He forbade that phrase, instead insisting on a question: how can I afford it? Just like hitting the gym strengthens your body, this linguistic flip forces the mind to work. It demands the brain seek out solutions, building the essential financial muscle required to spot opportunities. Wealth begins with the words you choose to speak. They literally program your mind to either accept defeat or to engineer a way forward. To drive this lesson home, the wealthy father put 9-year-old Robert to work dusting cans in a local superette for 10 cents an hour. The work was agonizingly boring. After 3 hours of labor, the boy would walk away with 30 cents, barely enough to buy a few comic books. After just a few weeks, he was frustrated, angry, and ready to quit. But that frustration was the point. The mentor gave him a harsh taste of real life. He wanted the boy to feel how easily people let life push them around when driven by fear of having no money and the short-term desire for a quick payout. It's an invisible cycle. The fear of not being able to pay the bills forces people into accepting a small paycheck. They go to work, complain about their boss, and convince themselves that a tiny raise will eventually solve their problems. To break that cycle, you have to realize that true financial learning requires stepping completely out of the comfort zone of a safe job. The poor and the middle class spend their entire lives working for money. The rich spend their lives learning how to make money work for them. Adopting the highly educated but financially illiterate mindset carries consequences that last a lifetime. When you play it safe and rely solely on a salary, the government always takes its share first through taxes. The worker is left sitting at the kitchen table, trying to stretch whatever is left over. The ultimate tragedy of this path is reaching the end of your days as a nice, hardworking person who never actually took control of their own potential. Escaping this cycle requires a lifelong, active commitment to studying the subject of money itself. It brings to mind the famous poem by Robert Frost, where 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. Every person stands at that exact fork in the road when deciding their financial destiny. True wealth demands taking the road less traveled. It means abandoning the well-worn path of chasing a safe paycheck and cultivating the courage to make money work for you.